You ever walk into a room and realize everyone already decided who you are before you even open your mouth? That's exactly what happened to Maya Liu, standing at the door of her parents' grand, gleaming estate in the Hamptons. They called it an emergency family meeting, the kind of thing that usually meant someone was in trouble or pregnant, or both. But this time, the emergency was Maya's career choices. You see, 2 years ago, Maya left a high-paying job at a top consulting firm, gave up the company car, the high-rise Manhattan apartment, and the fiancé with the perfect teeth and pedigree. She didn't lose it all, she chose to leave. But to her family, that was failure. To them, Maya wasn't living up to the Liu name, wasn't checking the boxes, wasn't stable. In fact, her mother referred to it as her situation, like it was some kind of disease they didn't want to say out loud. But Maya had a secret. She didn't leave to go be a barista or wander the globe finding herself. She left to build something, and what she built was about to change everything. Hey, before I tell you what Maya did next, make sure you like this video, subscribe to True Voice Revealed, and share this story with someone who's been underestimated. We tell real, raw, human stories that you won't hear anywhere else. So hit that bell and let's get back to Maya. That night, as she sat in the driveway outside her parents' home, watching her sister's Range Rover and her dad's Porsche glint under the security lights, Maya glanced at her phone, a text from her CFO, Liam. The Forbes piece drops at 8 p.m. You ready? Maya grinned. Perfect timing. The family meeting started at 7. She walked in with a quiet confidence, wearing a $25 thrifted blazer over a white tee. Her mom opened the door with the frown disguised as a smile. Maya, darling, you're 2 minutes late. Fashionably underestimated, Maya replied. Inside, the living room looked like a boardroom, her father standing like a CEO about to give a lecture, her sister Elise on the leather couch with her finance bro husband, and even Aunt Michelle dialing in on FaceTime. They meant business. We're here because we care, her mom began, already wearing that disappointed look. You walked away from everything, her dad added, hands folded like a judge. For what, Maya? For some tech thing? Elise jumped in. No shame in pivoting back. There's still time to go back to consulting, rebuild your reputation. Maya stayed quiet, nodding along, because what they didn't know was that the tech thing she'd built had just closed a Series C funding round at $2.4 billion, and her face was going to be on the cover of Forbes in less than 20 minutes. Elise's husband, Caleb, leaned in with that smug look she'd seen 100 times, the one that always started with, "I did some research." He continued, "You're an AI, right? Neural data? The market's overcrowded. No real investor would touch a company without major capital backing." Maya smiled. Funny, because his last startup pitch had landed on my desk 2 months ago. He didn't know. He'd been rejected by one of my own subsidiaries. "It's okay to admit something's not working," her mom said gently. "We've all failed at things," her dad added, like he was being generous. "We just want what's best for you." And then at 7:59, Maya's phone buzzed. She didn't check it. She didn't have to. Because Elise did. She glanced at her phone mid-sentence and froze, eyes wide. Wait, why is Maya's face on the front page of Forbes? Silence. Her mom blinked. That's not real, right? Caleb grabbed the phone, scrolled, then double-checked the name. Maya Liu, founder and CEO of NeuroNova Systems, valued at $2.4 billion? Actually, Maya said, standing up and smoothing her thrifted blazer, that's a little outdated. She pulled out her tablet and opened up her pitch deck, the same one that landed her deals with 5 Fortune 100 companies. We just closed a new acquisition. We're sitting at $3.1 billion now. The room was dead quiet. What exactly do you do? Her dad asked, finally sitting down. We build adaptive neural AI systems. Our software is used in disaster prediction, financial forecasting, and even advanced medical diagnostics. The old Toyota I drive, just for show. The apartment I live in, smallest unit in a building I own. Her mom's wine glass trembled in her hand. But you never said anything. You never asked. We thought you were struggling, Elise whispered. You thought wrong. Why didn't you tell us? Her father asked, clearly shaken. Maya looked around at the faces of the people who'd been preparing to save her. Because sometimes the best thing you can do is let people underestimate you. It's amazing how far you can go when no one's watching. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was her driver waiting out front for the CNBC interview she was headed to next. Oh, and Caleb, she said to her brother-in-law with a smile. That startup pitch you sent to Titan Ventures last month? Yeah, that's mine. My firm owns it. Better luck next time. She walked out, leaving them stunned, sitting in their wealth, their assumptions, and their quiet shock. Outside, a black town car waited, sleek and elegant. Inside that car, Maya allowed herself a moment to breathe. Not because she'd proven them wrong, but because she'd proven herself right a long time ago. And now, the world was finally catching up. The morning after her family found out she was a billionaire, Maya Lou walked into her company's glass tower headquarters like she always did, quietly, without fanfare. Except now, everyone was watching. The receptionist stood up a little straighter. Security nodded with more respect. The delivery guy even stopped in mid-step to say, "Congrats on the article, Miss Lou." A week ago, she was invisible to these people. Now, she was the girl on the cover of Forbes. But Maya didn't build Nora Nova to be seen. She built it because she believed in it, because while the world was busy labeling her the artistic one, the emotional one, the one still figuring it out, she was writing code, signing NDAs, pitching to investors, and revolutionizing machine learning. Her sister Elise, her parents, even her ex-fiancé, they hadn't seen her. They'd seen a version of her that fit neatly into their expectations. But now that the spotlight was on, everyone wanted a front row seat. Her assistant Jamie met her at the elevator.
Your sister's been calling the front desk since 6 a.m. Persistent, Maya said, sipping her coffee. She's in the lobby. Says she won't leave until she speaks to you. Maya didn't flinch. Send her to the 7th floor conference room, the small one, with the uncomfortable chairs. You sure? Positive. Maya spent the next 2 hours reviewing Q4 projections, analyzing new acquisition reports, and prepping for a meeting with a potential global partner. Her phone buzzed constantly. Reporters, investors, distant relatives, old classmates who hadn't said a word to her in years. But not once did she check the messages from her mother or Elise. She finally walked into the 7th floor conference room, calm, composed, her thrifted blazer replaced with the sharp navy suit. Elise was pacing, her designer heels clicking across the tile. Seriously, Maya, you made me wait 2 hours? Call it balance, Maya replied. I waited 28 years for someone in this family to take me seriously. Elise softened, just a little. We were shocked, okay? Mom's a mess. Dad hasn't gone to work. We thought you were struggling. You didn't think, you assumed. Can't we just start over? Elise pleaded. Now that we know, we want to be part of it. James would love to help. Help? Maya's voice cracked with something between laughter and disbelief. Your husband tried to sabotage me. He's been trash-talking me in VC circles for 2 years, called me amateur hour, said I had no leadership presence. She pulled out her tablet and tapped into a file. Audio recordings, investor transcripts, rejection letters. You're lying. I built this company, Elise. I don't lie. I research, I verify, I document. Elise looked like she'd swallowed gravel. Why didn't you just tell us? She whispered. Would you have believed me? Really? She didn't answer. Didn't need to. Maya walked to the window. You know the part that hurts? She said,
not angry now, just raw. It's not that you didn't know, it's that you didn't care to ask. You were also busy waiting for me to fail. You missed the fact that I was quietly building something none of you ever thought I was capable of. But you're my sister, Elise said softly. We're family. Family, Maya repeated. Family would have cheered when I told them I was going to try something bold. Family would have asked me how it was doing instead of gossiping about my situation. Family would have believed in me before the headline. She turned to leave. Wait, Maya, what do you want from us? Nothing. And that's the point. Later that afternoon, Maya met with her board. Mostly men twice her age, most of whom had been polite skeptics when she'd started, until the profits rolled in. Now they hung on every word. Let's talk Project Aeon. This is what comes next: quantum-based AI infrastructure, global adaptability. We're going to build systems that learn faster than any human brain ever could. There was silence, then applause. Even Harold, the investor who once told her to hire a more mature male COO, nodded in approval. Funny how that works. The moment you become undeniable, they all pretend they saw it from the start. But Maya remembered every doubt, every condescending smile, every raised eyebrow when she said she wanted to lead, not follow. That evening, her mom called again. This time, Maya picked up. Your father and I want to have dinner, just the family. To discuss what? Maya asked carefully. To celebrate you. Maya paused. I'll come, on one condition. What? No one's allowed to say the word lucky. There was a beat of silence. Then, deal. When Maya hung up, she looked around her office, floor-to-ceiling windows, walls lined with whiteboards and breakthroughs. She pulled a worn piece of paper from her desk drawer. Her fifth-grade science fair project, a crude drawing of an AI system she dreamed of building one day. She was 10 years old when her teacher told her, maybe aim for something more realistic. She smiled down, taping the paper to her glass wall. Realistic. That word had been used to limit her all her life. Now, it was irrelevant, because she wasn't just dreaming anymore. She was building. And the world? It was finally starting to catch up. 1 month after the Forbes article dropped and everything had changed, Neuronova's valuation had doubled. Maya's phone buzzed constantly with requests, partnerships, interviews, offers. Her inbox overflowed with words like visionary, game changer, and thought leader. Funny how just a few zeros could flip the narrative. But all that buzz didn't change what she saw every morning when she stepped into her corner office. Whiteboards covered in code, graphs tracking impact across sectors, and a framed photo of a 10-year-old girl standing proudly next to a science fair project no one believed in but her. That little girl had grown up, quietly, determinedly, without applause. And now, the same people who once dismissed her were standing in line to clap. Maya was reviewing global reports when her assistant Jamie stepped into the room. Your father's downstairs. No suit, no driver. He's just waiting. Same answer as yesterday. Today he's holding an old leather briefcase. Says he won't leave without talking to you. She hesitated. Richard Liu, the commanding patriarch of the Liu family, founder of Liu Global Strategies, wearing jeans and holding a briefcase. That was not his brand. She pulled up the building's security feed. There he was, sitting alone in the lobby, back straight, but not tense, just still. She studied him for a long moment. Then, finally, send him up. When he walked into her office, he didn't fill the space the way he used to. There was no CEO posture, no cool arrogance, just a father in a soft sweater, looking around as if he were seeing his daughter's world for the first time. "Your mother keeps setting a place for you at dinner," he said gently, "every Thursday night. Dinner tables don't fix years of dismissal." "I know." He placed a briefcase on her desk and opened it. Inside was a stack of documents, patents, early designs, seed bank presentations, dating back almost a decade. He said, "I found these in an old archive folder, and then I started really reading them. I had no idea how long you've been building this, because no one ever asked." He nodded slowly. "I remembered your 5th grade science fair project. You built that weather prediction model. Everyone else had volcanoes. You had algorithms. And you missed the presentation for a shareholders meeting." "I did," he admitted. "But what hurts more is what came after. I never asked why you loved AI. Never asked what you dreamed of doing. I assumed I already knew." There was a long pause. "I was wrong," he said quietly. She didn't speak. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. "Your mother," he continued, "has started taking coding classes." That caught her attention. "She says she wants to understand what you built." "And Elise?" "Reading up on AI ethics," he said. "And James," Maya raised an eyebrow, "is trying to use your name to pitch to your competitors." She shook her head with a small sigh. "I didn't know," he added quickly. "But that's not why I came today. I'm not here for favors. I'm not here to ask for access. I'm here because I want to say, finally, that I'm proud of you, not just for your success, for your courage, your independence, for seeing something we all missed." That landed. More than she expected. He reached back into his briefcase and pulled out one final item, an old, crumpled photograph. Maya, at age 10, smiling beside her cardboard science fair board, her handwriting spelling out neuropredictive modeling in colorful markers. No one had taken a picture that day, except her teacher, apparently. "When did we stop seeing you?" her father asked, voice tight. "When did we trade our pride for pressure?" Maya stared at the photo. The girl in the picture didn't care about stock options or corporate titles. She cared about possibility. She said that project had a 76% prediction accuracy. Pretty good for a 5th grader. "What's NeuroNova's accuracy now?" he asked, curious. She turned her monitor around and showed him their latest metrics. 99.997%. "Incredible," he whispered. "And it's not just the weather?" "No. We're predicting global market shifts, climate migration patterns, infrastructure stress points before disaster strikes." "So you're not just building a company," he said, finally getting it. You're preparing the world." "Exactly." For the next hour, Maya explained it all. The algorithms, the architecture, the quantum integration model. Her father didn't interrupt. He asked good questions, the kind that said, "I see you now, not the version I invented, but the woman you became." When she finished, he sat quietly. Then, "Lou Global is struggling." Maya waited. "Consulting's not what it used to be. We need AI, predictive tools, tech we don't have." "I know. Your firm's down 40% this quarter." He chuckled, almost embarrassed. "You probably knew before I did." She nodded. "I'm not asking for a bailout," he said. "Just transparency, guidance, the kind you deserved from us years ago." Maya considered, then said, "We're hosting the next family dinner here." "Here?" "At NeuroNova. A full tour,
No more guessing, no more judging. They'll see what I built. Or they don't come at all. He nodded. And James? Not invited. Understood. Oh, and one more thing, she added. I bought Elise and James's debt last week, quietly, through a shell fund. Why? Because she's still my sister, and I'm not going to let her drown because she married a disaster. But I also won't protect her from consequences. He looked at her differently now, not just with pride, but with respect. You know, he said, standing to leave, I'm framing your Forbes quote in my office. Success doesn't need permission? That one? That one, he confirmed. It reminded me what leadership should look like. That night, Maya stayed late, as usual, but this time she cleared her Thursday calendar. She hung a new article on her wall. Tech CEO redefines family legacy, success on her terms. And below it, she framed the science fair photo, the girl they overlooked, because she had become the woman they couldn't ignore. Maya taught us that success isn't about shouting louder than the doubters. It's about building quietly until the truth speaks for itself. So what would you do in Maya's shoes? Would you let your family back in or walk away? Let's talk in the comments. Like this video if her story moved you. Subscribe to True Voice Revealed for more powerful journeys just like this. Share this with someone who's building in silence. And don't forget to comment your key takeaway or what hit you hardest. Because your voice, it matters here. And it's time the world hears it.